Welcome to the training module for the Guest Services function of the House Operations Volunteer. This session contains information about guest services, which includes the purpose of guest services, checking guests in and out, House Operations Volunteer Ambassador functions, such as giving tours or assisting volunteer groups, and communication and problem solving. Like the concierge of a 5-star hotel or the residential support staff of a group home, our house operations volunteers provide excellent guest service to ensure that our guests, visitors, and group volunteers are comfortable and well supervised. Guest services tasks may include giving tours, conducting guest family check-in or check-out, supervising a volunteer team, and general interactions with people in the house. Because we want to make our house a comfortable home for every visitor, we want every house operations volunteer to become guest services volunteers every time they put on their red apron. Your number one job is to create a warm, welcoming home away from home for every person that you meet. When a family arrives from the hospital, you may be asked to assist with checking them into their guest room, a process that we call guest orientation. Orientation includes reviewing their family contact information, reading aloud the rules of the house, obtaining copies of important documents, giving a tour, and more. It's an important process that helps guests settle in right away. Our house operations staff creates a check-in packet for each incoming guest family. To conduct a check-in, also called guest orientation, you will need this packet of information as well as a copy of the guest family orientation checklist. You will practice conducting an orientation or check-in and a checkout as a part of your shadow shift. You can also view samples of the orientation checklist and the checkout checklist on the Volunteer Resources page. There are also copies of the checklists at the front desk for you to review during a shift. One very fun aspect of guest services is giving tours. As a house operations volunteer, you are the face of our organization and our mission, and guests and visitors may ask you to take them through the house to learn more about it. Every new guest family, meal team, cookie baking team, activity team, and volunteer group receives a tour, and many of our donors will call to schedule tours as well. We have tried to make giving tours easy. You will complete a tour during your shadow shift, and we have also provided a cheat sheet for giving tours as a tool that you can use during your shift. When you arrive for your shift, check the daily happenings in the house to see if a tour group is scheduled during your shift time. If you see that you have a tour group coming in, take a few moments to think about what you will show them. We want our tours to be memorable. Think about the tour as a sales pitch to help others get involved with our mission. You may find that you need to tweak your tour a little depending on your audience. For example, young children may be more excited about the playroom than adults, and a corporate team may be more excited to see the kitchen. Spend time in the places that it makes sense for your tour group, and remember to use the tour cheat sheet if you need guidance. Each day, corporate groups, scout troops, schools, clubs, civic organizations, and other groups will be coming into the Ronald McDonald House to do group volunteer work. These volunteers will need your help too. House operations volunteers act as supervisors to visiting volunteer teams to ensure that groups have the supplies that they require and so that everyone follows rules and stays on task. Check the daily happenings in the house to see if there is a work group scheduled on your shift. All scheduled groups will have a special sign-in form on the clipboards at the front desk. You will see an example of this during your shadow shift. When the group arrives, please have each member sign in on the clipboard and provide each member with a green visitor's badge. A member of staff will assist you in greeting the team and reviewing their assignment for the day. You may be asked to provide a tour before they begin work. Once the team begins work, please check in with them frequently. We want to be sure that the group feels well supported and has the materials and information they need to be successful. Remember, all of these volunteers are potential house operations volunteers or even possibly donors. Treat everyone with kindness and respect, and you'll do just fine. Remember to say thank you often. One of the most important responsibilities of a house operations volunteer is a little hard to explain. It's the responsibility of creating a happy, welcoming environment. Guest services means lots of things, but at the Ronald McDonald House of Charlotte, it mostly means making eye contact with each person you pass, smiling and saying hello, asking open-ended questions that invite discussion, and offering to help. If you think about a time when you received excellent customer service in a retail shop or hotel, chances are it began with somebody simply taking the time to greet you warmly and with a smile and offering to help. Let's try to give our guest families that kind of service here, too. Once you have smiled and said hello, families may choose to speak with you further, or they may choose to keep to themselves. We never know exactly what another person is experiencing emotionally, so please don't be offended if families choose not to engage in conversation with you. Others may wish to spend more time talking. Remember, we are people first, and we can always make time to stop and chat. Sometimes you'll encounter a family who needs help with a problem. Sometimes you'll be able to help, and sometimes you won't. If a guest family needs more toilet paper or needs to know where to find laundry detergent, your training will let you know how to help. If, however, a family needs advice on something more serious, such as how to handle a situation at the hospital or with financial assistance, you'll need to receive help from a staff member. Remember, you are never alone in the house, and we have many resources to help our guests. If a family asks you for help that you do not know how to provide, or asks a question you cannot answer, simply call for a member of staff on your walkie-talkie or knock on the office door. We are here to support you and to help our families. As you work your first shifts in the house, take time to get to know your fellow volunteers and the Ronald McDonald House staff. We are all here to support each other as well as to support our guest families. Everyone wearing a red apron or a staff badge is here to be a resource for you, just as you will be a resource to others as you get more comfortable. To finish up our discussion of guest services, the most important takeaway is simply this. Our job is to make this house feel as much like home as we possibly can. Your kindness, your smile, your compassion, and your willingness to help are the only tools you really need to do a great job. Congratulations! You have now completed the Guest Services Training module. You'll have a chance to practice most of the tasks mentioned during your shadow shift. Your last video is coming up. Click on the next link for your shadow shift training video.